Welcome to In Conversation with the Safety Collaborators. I am Karen.
And I am Nuala. Whether you're a safety professional, a leader, or an individual committed to making a difference,
We invite you to join the discussion on creating a culture of safety and care, enabling your team and leaders to design a safer and more productive and collaborative world. It's good to be back, Nules. How are you?
I'm good. It's lovely to be having some conversations that matter again, and
Yeah.
having an opportunity to share with you what it is that we're doing differently. So, Kaz, what are we
So,
doing differently?
well, that's why we thought we'd check in. We wanted to do a short, sharp episode for everybody today to just sort of do a bit of a check-in and say, let you know what we're doing, what are we doing with the podcast, because you may realize or not that we've been on a little bit of a podcast holiday. And there's been some reasons in the background for that, which we'll share over time. But some of that has been thinking about how do we add more value? How do we, with all the sharing, with all the content that we do, because we don't just do podcasts, we do a lot of written content as well. So how do we make that spread a little bit easier for you and for us, actually? So we're changing the format a little bit of the podcast going forward. And one of those big changes is we're going to be adding some guests. Now, we've already done some pre-recordings of guests. So over the coming weeks, we'll be releasing these. And the first 4 really wonderful people that we've had recordings with. So the first one was Dan Newby, and he runs the School of Emotions, and he is an emotional literacy expert. And I know that we had such a wonderful, wonderful conversation that we all felt warm and fuzzy. What did you think?
Well, warm and fuzzy, and also just that beautiful awareness of how many emotions we have and what it means to us and how do we see
Yeah,
them. And
yeah.
I'm not going to give more than that away, but to
No,
say it
not
is one
today.
you do not want to miss.
And then we had another conversation with a dear, I'd say friend of safety collaborators, Alla Weinberg, and she is quite an expert on psychological safety, organisational culture. She hails from Canada, and that was a really interesting conversation to have another voice in that space. And then we had our lovely Callum Kerr. Now, Callum and I met actually on a safety leadership program that I've been running for a long time. And he was a recent participant, and we just really hit it off. And he's such a passionate health and safety professional. And we thought it would be really nice to have a conversation with him so he could share his leadership journey in that space with you all.
We really hope that you enjoy and find value in hearing an on the ground leadership experience that Callum shares. And if you have a story that you feel that people will benefit from and would like to learn from, and you would like to share it with us, let us know at hello@safetycollaborations.com and we'll have a conversation.
And you could be our next guest. That would be fun. And another recording we did was with Alex Seiderschlag, and he is another passionate human factors and field safety coach, where we discuss the return on investment from safety coaching.
There was a lot that went into that fabulous conversation. I know I gained huge value from these 4 conversations, and I look forward to hearing them again when we get them out so that everyone else can hear.
You and me both. And that's just to get us started. So there are more guests in the pipeline, but we'll keep them a secret. So we're moving from a weekly to a fortnightly podcast episodes, really just to spread the way that we share, because we do a lot of written content as well. And of course, we are facilitators, coaches, and consultants out there in the world. And podcast and writing actually takes time.
It reminds me of that. I was going to write you a short letter, but I didn't have the time, so I wrote you a long
Exactly.
one.
Exactly.
And when we have the opportunity to focus on what we would like to share with you, it means that we have more time at the moment to really get to the nuances of what is going to make a difference in your daily lives and organizational safety culture.
Indeed. So do go to our Knowledge Hub on the website, which has an enormous amount of both written content, case studies, we've put some new ones up, and our podcast show notes. Now, the podcast show notes are actually blog posts in their own right. So we have the conversation, but we also create them in such a way that you can really read them as well. What else are we experimenting with?
Well, we're experimenting with many other ways of sharing content. We have launched our YouTube channel, so go and find us because it would be great to have more than a few people viewing what we are putting out there and scarily getting to be comfortable with possibly putting our faces out there as well, not just our voices.
Mm.
We're we're also having some creative shorts, and those are just fabulous. And for those of you who haven't heard the voice of Katrina Kruger, you won't be hearing her voice, but you will be seeing her creativity and the joy that she's sharing around bringing safety to life.
For those who may not know, Katrina is the third person in our safety collaborations team, the director, actually.
A few connections commented this week that there is so much valuable information on our Knowledge Hub. And one of the questions was, where do I start? If there is a topic you're interested in, use the search function or ask us in the chat box and we'll direct you to relevant content. And look out for Throwback Thursdays on our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram channels, where we will share reminders of the wonderful wisdom available to you.
And more big news, we are launching a suite of training and coaching programs. Now, in reality, they've been there all along, but I think we're putting a really concerted effort into making it more clear for you to find those programs and to understand what's available. And we're doing that for a couple of reasons. I think one is to bring some clarity to what we actually do and help people understand what we do, and also to make it easier for you if you're a leader or a leader of a team or an organization and you're looking for some learning bites or some learning wisdom that you can implement more quickly, maybe than a full-scale safety culture consultancy piece of work, then these training options will be open for you. We'll be doing them both as open courses, and of course, all of our courses can be done on site for your organization. The open courses will be facilitated digitally, which means we are facilitators. They are live programs. They are not e-learning. So once we get enough people on each of the sessions, we will then run them, and Nora and myself and some of our associates will actually be running those, facilitating those workshops. So the development programs, and Nuala will share what some of those titles or what some of those workshops are. We have two bigger programs, if you like. One is the Safety Leadership by Design for Leaders program, which is essentially a safety leadership program, but with a twist. It's a little different to what you may have seen in the past or experienced. The other is something that we're working with also some of our colleagues in and around Namibia, Senegal, Uganda, and this is a program called Make It Safer from Day One. So this is designed for new and emerging workforces, for local content, and to build the skills that we need, that are required to have safer operations.
And within those, there are a suite of workshops that we can either run as a part of that bigger program, but some of these are really fabulous to just pull out as a half-day online, short, sharp, how do we help people in the moment? Some of those include going through the 5 principles of human performance, coach approach for leaders, conversational intelligence, stages of team development, cultural agility, psychological safety, the art of asking questions, understanding how I can get hurt. Such an interesting topic. We will put in the show notes links to some of the previous episodes of podcasts and blogs that outline a bit more of what these topics actually mean. So go and have a listen to those and connect with us where they can make a difference to your team today. One of the other offerings that we are bringing to be more visible is around leadership coaching. And that includes not just on-site safety coaching, but this is one-to-one coaching with your leaders, your supervisors, your team, or group coaching. And that is coaching with an experienced trained coach. And it is all around enhancing leadership skills and working towards achieving team and individual professional goals to support your safety culture. Those programs can be expanded on. The best place to find out what's going on and to get more information, subscribe to our newsletter to stay updated. And at the bottom of our website, there's a little box that you can put in your details if you are not already subscribed. Come and join us, and you will make sure that you don't miss out on these wonderful opportunities.
There's also that yellow annoying box that pops up in the middle of the screen.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah. So this was a really short, sharp episode. Well, short, sharp for us. We're excited to be back in the podcast seat, bringing you new and fresh content to share and learn, enabling your team and leaders to design a safer, more productive, and more collaborative world. Connect with us on hello@safetycollaborations.com to get your teams on one of our training and coaching programs.
Thank you for joining us today. It is always lovely to have conversations that matter. To learn more about creating a culture of safety and care, please visit our website, safetycollaborations.com, to access our show notes, resources, and guides. Leave us a message via the Message Us section on the show notes page, and we'll get back to you.
You can also join our community on social media by following us on our LinkedIn pages, Safety Collaborations, Karen Avari, and Nuala Gage, and on our new Safety Collaborations social channels, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Our handle Safety Collaborations is much the same. Sharing is caring. Follow us on your favourite podcast platform. Leave us a 5-star review would be awesome. Doing these things helps us to grow and share our collective conversations. Till next time,
Stay safe
and stay well.